Okay, here's lesson 86 continued. This is still division of polynomials, but this is a more expanded polynomial and a bigger division by. It's not just 1x or 4x squared or whatever. So here we have negative 2x squared plus 3x to the third plus 5x plus 50, and we're going to divide it by negative 3 plus x. So this way we're doing it like we do long division, and it's a different process than we did in the last part. So they're kind of unrelated is why I wanted to divide them up. So I'm going to rewrite my problem, and one thing you need to remember that's very important is you have to have a stair step of exponents. So I'm going to move this largest one. This is the largest one in this group right here. It's x to the third. It's the largest exponent. So I'm going to put it first. And then I'm going to put negative 2x squared second. And then 5x and then 50. It says stair step down. 3, 2, 1, nothing. And you have to have that. And if it's missing that part, you have to add in a plus 0 to keep that place value in there. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But you have to have the 3, 2, 1, 0 exponents in the right order. And then instead of writing it negative 3 plus x, we inverted it and put x plus 3. It makes it, you want the variable first when you are doing these problems. And so what you're doing is you're looking at this right here, this x. This one is kind of like his friend that's coming along for the ride, is how I always say it. And so don't worry about that. You will multiply it and subtract it, but as far as the division is concerned, we're looking at this first variable. And so if I have 3x to the third divided by x, I'm basically taking one x, I'm dividing it by x like I did in that last lesson where I took an x away from the numerator. So if I did that, that would leave 3x squared behind, okay? So I'm saying 3x to the third divided by x equals 3x squared. Now I have to do the 3 also. So what I'm doing is I'm multiplying. If I said x times 3x squared, I would get 3x to the third. So now I'm multiplying 3 times 3x squared. And that would equal, and so I do that here, and I get minus 3x to the third, and then I have plus 9x squared. So what I did was, I am subtracting, you know the 4 steps of division, divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. That's what we're doing. And so I divided, and then I multiplied, and so now I'm multiplying it by, this is my answer up at the quotient. And so multiply, now I'm subtracting, and I bring down. So that, it makes that go away. But then I have negative 2x squared plus 9x squared. That would be 7x squared. That's my new one. So I'm just going to back up a minute and start again. We're looking at this, and I'm dividing 3x to the third divided by x. That equals 3x squared. So now I do my multiply. X times 3x to the third, x times 3x squared equals 3x to the third. 3 times 3x squared is 9x squared. And so I write my answers here and I subtract. When I subtract this, it comes to 0, it eliminates it. Negative 2 plus 9 is 7, so I bring down those. Now I'm ready to start again. So now 7x squared divided by x would be 7x. So I multiply 7x times 7x times x, I get 7x squared. 3 times 7x, I get 21x. I subtract, that eliminates it, makes it go away, and I have 5x minus 21x. So 5x minus 21x is what? I'm bringing down. Remember, I have, instead of bringing down, you subtract. So that would be negative. Oh, I'm not thinking straight. Negative. Oh, that's why. I need to bring this down first. And then, yes, I did it right. I just was confused on my I didn't bring down the 5x. So then I have 26x, negative 26x, and that's my new number. So now I'm going to multiply this by negative 26. 3 times negative 26 is, I'm going to let them do the math for me, negative 78. I'm bringing down the 50. Bring down the 50. I'm not writing this down right. Plus 50. 26x minus 78. There we go. And then I've got, what is my answer here? 128. And so when you get to that part, you just, there's no more to divide by. And so you simply list this as a remainder, 128, over your dividend. And so that would be x plus 3. Now, let's do another one, because those are hard to do if you've never done them before. And so let's do another one. Okay, we're going to do negative 2x plus 5 plus 3x to the third, and we're going to divide it by negative 3 plus x. And so I'm going to rearrange these. I got to put them in order. 3x to the third. I don't have a 2x squared or anything x squared. And so you have to put in 0 x squared. Adding 0 to anything does not change its value, so it's okay to do. And it doesn't look like I'm just doing 0 because it says 0x squared, but 0 times x squared is still 0. So I'm putting that in there because I need it for my problem to have the stair step, plus 5. So I put this up front, then I put in my filler, and then I put the negative 2x, and then I put the 5. And then I make my division box, and I say x minus 3, because you want the variable first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply, divide 3x to the third divided by x, that makes 3x squared. Now I multiply. X times 3x squared is 3x to the third. Negative 3 times 3x squared is negative 9x squared. Now I subtract. Now when I subtract that, I'm going to change the sign for that one. That cancels out. That makes that 9x squared. Bring down my 2x, and I've got 9x squared divided by x is 9x. Now I multiply. X times 9x is 9x squared. Negative 3 times 9x is negative 27x. Subtract. Change the sign. So that would be, that cancels out, and so that would be positive 25x. Bring down the plus 5. Now I'm ready to go again. So 25x divided by x is 25. Now I multiply. X times 25 is 25x. Negative 3 times 25 is negative 75. Subtract. That changes that sign. That cancels out. That makes that 80. There, and that's my remainder. So I say plus 80 over x minus 3. Now, I know what you're thinking, because it looks confusing having two numbers here and having to do 2, 2, 2 everywhere you go. I recommend this, and I mean this heavily. If you do this, what I'm saying, several times, it will sink in before you have to do your own. Go back and do this example, this very example right here. Example, which one did I do here? I'm not even looking. Example 86.5 on page 359. Do it again and again, and then do one of the other examples and follow it in with the book. If you get in the habit of this, you can see, and please message me if you have any questions. So now you will do B and D. Now C, you will also do, it's written like this. because this is a division bar, they're just rewriting it a different way. So you would say x to the third minus 0x squared, plus 0x minus 5. And then it's divided by x minus 2. That's how you write C. So just rewrite this on C, rewrite it, but you have to put in 2 fillers for this one. And so those fillers, remember, it's just like saying plus 0 plus 0. Doesn't change the value, but it allows you to do this steps with 2 numbers as you go along the way. If you have trouble with this, send me a message and I'll send you some more examples. I've gotten to where I enjoy these now because they are kind of fun to do. And so that is the end of lesson 86.